In an age where the relentless pace of life only seems to accelerate, and the urge to consume dominates every corner of our world, there lies an alternative, a choice to embrace the slow life. It's not just a passing trend or a fleeting idea. It's a profound shift in perspective, one that encourages us to savor each moment rather than rush through it. For those who have witnessed the world transform over the decades, this path holds even greater resonance. Perhaps now, more than ever, we yearn for a life that values depth over speed, connection over distraction. As the years pass, the call for something quieter, more intentional, and deeply meaningful grows stronger. Could this be the key to rediscovering joy, balance, and purpose as we navigate the journey of aging? 1. Reevaluating consumerism in later years. As the years pass, it becomes increasingly evident that the value we place on material possessions begins to fade. In our younger days, we were taught to equate success with accumulation. More possessions meant more achievement. Society's voice was loud and unyielding, amplified by endless advertisements urging us to spend, own, and chase an ever-elusive version of more. The latest gadgets, luxurious cars, and extravagant vacations were marketed as the ultimate keys to happiness. But now, with the clarity that comes from decades of living, many of us have come to see a different truth. Happiness isn't something that can be purchased or owned. It's found in simpler, quieter places. The modern world thrives on consumerism, a system designed to keep us spending, convincing us that our worth is tied to what we can buy. Yet deep down, we know that these fleeting pleasures don't address the deeper needs of our souls. For those of us who can recall a time when life moved at a gentler pace, the constant push to consume can feel suffocating. But here's the beauty of aging. It brings freedom. We can choose to step away from the race, to pause and reflect, to embrace a slower, more intentional way of living. In this newfound simplicity, we rediscover what truly matters: peace, connection, and the richness of a life lived fully, rather than one defined by what we own. 2. Clearing out clutter from a personal journey. Let me take you back to a pivotal moment in my life, a time when I chose to downsize and embrace simplicity. Years ago, I sold my sprawling home and moved into a much smaller space, a narrow boat. If you're familiar with narrow boats, you'll know they're modest in size, stretching about 50 feet long and just under 7 feet wide. That's hardly any room for excess. It forced me to confront a daunting challenge, deciding what to keep and what to let go. Initially, it felt overwhelming. Over the years, I had amassed an incredible amount of stuff: boxes of forgotten items, kitchen gadgets I hadn't touched in decades, and an absurd 5 coffee makers I didn't even realize I owned. Every item seemed to carry its own attachment, making the thought of parting with it almost unbearable. But as I began to declutter, something remarkable happened. With each item I let go of, I felt a little lighter. It wasn't just the physical weight of possessions leaving my life. It was emotional weight, too. It was as though I had been carrying a burden I didn't even know existed, and piece by piece I was setting myself free. Moving into that small space, surrounded only by the essentials, was transformative. It was liberating, like shedding layers I no longer needed. It reminded me of Atlas shrugging off the sky, finally relieved of an impossible load. The sense of freedom and clarity that came with simplifying my life was profound. Even if you're not planning to move or downsize, I encourage you to try this practice. Start small. Go through your kitchen, your closets, or your garage. Let go of the things you no longer need, use, or even remember owning. You don't have to hoard to hold on to memories. Simplifying your surroundings has a magical way of simplifying your mind, creating space not just in your home, but in your life for the things that truly matter. Trust me, the relief and clarity you'll feel are worth it. 3. Embracing capitalism with caution. Let me be clear. I'm not against capitalism. It's a system that, at its core, functions remarkably well. Businesses provide goods and services that make our lives easier, more efficient, and sometimes even more enjoyable. In return, they earn a profit, a fair exchange. For instance, if someone bakes a loaf of bread and sells it to me for a bit more than it cost to make, I'm happy to pay for the convenience and their hard work. That's the beauty of a system where effort and value are rewarded. However, the trouble begins when this balance shifts too far. When consumption becomes an end in itself, the cycle starts to lose its meaning. The brilliance of capitalism lies in its competitive nature. If one company overcharges, another will step in with a better price or product. But this very competition can also trap us, luring us into an endless pursuit of more. We find ourselves chasing the next gadget, the latest trend, or a fleeting moment of gratification, only to realize it doesn't truly fulfill us. As we age, we begin to see through this cycle. The things we once believed were essential, newer phones, flashier cars, trendier clothes, reveal themselves as distractions. Life, we come to understand, isn't about amassing possessions or staying on the cutting edge of consumer trends. It's about something far deeper, the experiences that shape us, the relationships that sustain us, and the moments of stillness that allow us to reflect and grow. Perhaps the greatest wisdom we gain with time is the ability to discern what truly matters. It's not what we own, but how we live, love, and connect with the world around us that defines a meaningful life. 4. Living simply in a complex world. Choosing to live a slower, less materialistic life often means stepping away from the mainstream. In a world where consumer culture dominates, where people are constantly on the go, endlessly buying and chasing after the next thing, deciding to opt out can feel like swimming against the tide. You may find yourself in the minority, but there's a quiet beauty in standing apart. When you embrace simplicity and release the relentless pursuit of more, the world around you begins to shift. You start to notice the delicate rustle of leaves dancing in the wind, the comforting warmth of sunlight on your skin, and the quiet moments of stillness that invite peace and clarity. These are the experiences that no amount of money can buy. Yet they enrich life in ways material possessions never could. Living simply doesn't mean sacrificing joy or depriving yourself of the things you love. Instead, it's about being intentional, choosing what truly matters and letting go of the excess that weighs you down. It's about slowing your pace enough to savor the life you already have, rather than constantly striving for a life defined by external measures of success or possessions. At first, this shift might feel isolating. Friends and family may question your decision to embrace minimalism or step away from the hustle. But over time, the sense of peace and contentment that comes with consuming less and living more deliberately will outweigh any discomfort of being different. In a world obsessed with speed and accumulation, the choice to live simply might seem unconventional, even radical. Yet, it is precisely this unconventional path that leads to a deeper sense of fulfillment, a truer kind of happiness, and a richer connection with yourself and the world around you. By choosing simplicity, you rediscover what it means to truly live. 5. Appreciating the little things. As we grow older, the sources of our joy often become simpler and more profound. The grand adventures and extravagant pursuits that once captivated us may lose their allure, replaced by an appreciation for life's quieter, more intimate moments. Happiness begins to emerge from the things we once overlooked or took for granted in our youth. There's a unique pleasure in sipping a warm cup of tea on a crisp morning, a sense of fulfillment in spending unhurried time with loved ones, or the quiet joy of watching birds gather at the feeder. These small, everyday moments become the true treasures of life and the most remarkable part. They often come without a price tag. This is the essence of slow living. When we step off the treadmill of constant consumerism, we start to notice the beauty in things money can't buy. Perhaps you'll find joy in gardening, nurturing your own vegetables, or planting flowers that brighten your days. Maybe you'll finally pick up that book you've been meaning to read, or rediscover a beloved hobby long neglected in the rush of daily life. The magic of this lifestyle lies in its simplicity. By letting go of the endless distractions of consumption, you create space for reflection, for creativity, for connection. These small joys, rooted in intention and presence, have the power to nourish your soul in ways no material possession ever could. In the end, it's not the things we own that sustain us, but the experiences and moments that quietly enrich our lives and remind us of what truly matters. 6. Resisting the pull of consumerism. Let's be honest. The pull of consumerism is incredibly powerful, even for those of us who've made the conscious choice to embrace a slower, simpler life. The temptations are everywhere, from enticing sales and flashy advertisements to the fleeting excitement of buying something new just for the thrill of it. How often have we found ourselves logging onto a site like Amazon without needing anything specific, only to spend hours scrolling and filling up our carts with things we didn't even know we wanted? That's the seduction of consumer culture. It whispers that we're missing something, convincing us to acquire more, even when what we already have is enough. But here's the thing. Those purchases, while satisfying in the moment, rarely bring lasting happiness. They leave us with temporary bursts of excitement, followed by a familiar emptiness that sends us searching for the next fix. It's a cycle designed to keep us buying. But the good news is, we can break free from it. Like any habit, resisting the urge to consume takes practice. Start small. Challenge yourself to go just one day without making a purchase. Then extend it to 2 days, then a week. Along the way, you'll begin to notice something remarkable. The urge to constantly acquire begins to fade. Slowly but surely, you'll find yourself feeling content with what you already have, no longer driven by the need for more. The reward for this effort isn't just a lighter wallet or fewer possessions. It's a profound sense of peace. By stepping away from the relentless cycle of consumption, you make space for what truly matters: gratitude, presence, and a deeper connection to the life you're living. Over time, you'll discover that true happiness doesn't come from the things you own, but from the freedom of knowing you don't need them to feel whole. 7. Filling the void. With meaningful activities, when you step away from the relentless cycle of buying and accumulating, an unexpected gift reveals itself: space. You'll notice this space in your home, freed from clutter, but also in your mind and heart, no longer weighed down by the constant pursuit of more. The question then becomes, what will you do with this newfound freedom? The possibilities are as limitless as your imagination, but the secret lies in filling it with activities that bring joy, meaning, and purpose to your life. Perhaps you'll rediscover the quiet satisfaction of knitting, weaving together patterns and stories with each stitch. Or maybe you'll take long, unhurried walks in the park each morning, breathing in the crisp air and marveling at the beauty of the natural world. You might find yourself spending more time with your grandchildren, sharing tales from your past, passing down the wisdom you've gained, and creating memories they'll cherish forever. This could also be the moment to fully immerse yourself in a hobby or craft that has long brought you happiness but was always pushed aside for more urgent matters. Whether it's painting, woodworking, gardening, or writing, these passions have the power to nourish your soul in ways that no material possession ever could. The beauty of this lifestyle is its simplicity. The most fulfilling activities, those that bring a deeper sense of joy and purpose, rarely come with a price tag. They ask only for your time, attention, and presence. By shifting your focus from acquiring to doing, you'll discover a richness in life that can't be bought, a fulfillment that grows from the simple act of living fully and authentically. 8. The challenges of living differently. Living a so simple life in today's fast-paced, consumption-driven world is not without its challenges. The resistance you'll encounter comes not only from source but often from within yourself. For most of our lives, we've been conditioned to believe that success and happiness are measured by the things we own, the status we display, and the image we project. Letting go of this deeply ingrained belief can feel unsettling, almost like stepping into unfamiliar territory. Society reinforces this narrative of consumption because it fuels the systems that benefit those in power. The more we buy, the more we contribute to their gain. Choosing to step outside of this system, to reject the constant cycle of acquiring and consuming, means swimming against the current. It's not an easy decision, and at times it can feel uncomfortable or even isolating. You might notice friends or family continuing to embrace a lifestyle of materialism that no longer aligns with your values, and this divergence can feel disheartening. But here's the truth. The discomfort is fleeting, and the rewards of embracing a simpler, more intentional life are immeasurable or immeasurable. Over time, the societal pressures that once dictated your choices will lose their grip on you. You'll begin to find solace in the knowledge that you're living authentically, guided by your own values rather than external expectations. This journey isn't without its challenges. It requires courage to step away from the familiar and embrace the unknown. Yet, it's precisely in this space of intentional living where profound growth and peace are found. By prioritizing meaning over materialism, you'll discover a life rich with purpose, connection, and true contentment. The road may not always be easy, but every step you take toward living in harmony with your values will be worth it. 9. Financial freedom through simplicity. One of the greatest benefits of embracing a slower, simpler life is the financial freedom it offers. When you stop buying things you don't need, you begin to free up money that can be directed toward the things that truly matter. Perhaps it's spending time with family, taking that long-awaited trip to visit loved ones, or investing in your health and well-being. Maybe it's simply building a financial cushion to give you peace of mind in your later years. Living simply can drastically reduce the financial pressure that often accompanies aging. Instead of constantly working to maintain a lifestyle built on consumerism and excess, you can shift your focus to enjoying the fruits of your labor, the experiences, relationships, and moments that bring genuine happiness. You may find that the income you thought you needed to sustain a fulfilling life is actually far less than what you once imagined. This shift in perspective not only allows for greater financial flexibility, but also leads to a more fulfilling and intentional life. Without the constant pressure to acquire more, you have the freedom to prioritize what really matters, allowing you to live with a sense of abundance that isn't measured by the things you own, but by the richness of your experiences and the peace of mind you've cultivated. 10. Reflecting on life's journey. As we grow older, reflection naturally becomes a deeper and more intentional part of life. We look back on the decisions we made, the paths we chose, the experiences we embraced, and the lessons we learned along the way. Living a slower, simpler life creates the space we need to reflect meaningfully on these aspects. It allows us to pause, take stock, and truly appreciate what matters most. When I look back on my own journey, I don't find myself regretting the things I didn't buy or the fleeting trends I didn't chase. What I hold most dear are the quiet moments spent with loved ones, the experiences that brought me peace and joy, and the profound sense of alignment I've found by living according to my values. Of course, like anyone, I've made mistakes, but those missteps don't define me. They simply shaped the person I've become, the path I've chosen. Slow, intentional, and minimalistic has led me to a deeper contentment, a sense of peace that no material possession or fleeting pleasure could ever provide. There's a quiet satisfaction in living authentically, in embracing simplicity and shedding the weight of consumerism. In the end, it's the moments of connection, reflection, and peace that truly enrich our lives. And for that, I wouldn't change a thing. 11. Leaving a legacy of simplicity. As we approach the later stages of life, many of us begin to reflect on the legacy we wish to leave behind. What do we want to be remembered for? For me, it's not about the material wealth or possessions I've accumulated. It's about the values I've lived by, the simplicity, mindfulness, and deep appreciation for the things that truly matter. I hope that my children and grandchildren will look beyond the things I've owned and instead see the way I chose to live. I want them to understand that true happiness isn't found in acquiring more, but in appreciating the small, meaningful moments that life offers. These are the moments that nourish the soul, bring peace, and create lasting joy. My hope is that the example I've set will guide them as they navigate their own lives. I want them to carry forward the lesson that contentment comes not from accumulating possessions, but from living intentionally and appreciating what truly brings fulfillment. If they can find their own paths to peace and happiness, just as I have, then I'll know that my legacy has been one of lasting value, far beyond material things. 12. Prioritizing health and well-being in the slow life. As we age, our health becomes increasingly vital. In a world that often values productivity and material success above all else, it's easy to overlook our own well-being. Living a slower, more intentional life encourages us to prioritize both our mental and physical health by carving out time for rest, self-care, and mindfulness. When we slow down, we allow ourselves the space to truly listen to our bodies. We begin to recognize when we need rest, when we should get moving, and when we need to nourish ourselves with wholesome food and positive experiences. This heightened awareness is one of the greatest gifts of slow living. Instead of relentlessly pushing ourselves to meet deadlines or accumulate possessions, we can focus on staying active, eating well, and nurturing our mental well-being. For many, this shift also fosters a deeper connection with nature. Whether it's taking peaceful walks in a local park, tending to a garden, or simply sitting outside to breathe in the fresh air, connecting with the natural world has proven benefits for our health. Studies have shown that spending time in nature can reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and enhance mental clarity. In a slower life, health is no longer an afterthought. It becomes a top priority. With less pressure to keep up with the frantic pace of modern life, we can focus on what truly matters: our well-being. By embracing this approach, we can improve the quality of our lives today and in the years ahead. In conclusion, choosing a slow life, a life of less consumption, simplicity, and peace, is not always the easiest choice, but it is one of the most rewarding. It offers us the opportunity to step away from the relentless drive to consume, and instead focus on the things that really matter: relationships, experiences, and inner peace. For those of us in the later stages of life, this path provides a chance to reflect on what's truly important, to let go of what no longer serves us, and to live with a deep sense of contentment and fulfillment. It's a journey well worth taking, and I invite you to join me on this path. Thank you for watching the entire video. If these stories resonate with you and inspire you, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback means so much to us, and we truly appreciate you taking the time to be part of this conversation.